I suppose we should have the new intro. New intro?
Yeah.
Let's do a new intro.
We got to change up that tarps off photo in the intro.
If anybody wants to know how important Dakota Josh was to the Vancouver Canucks, that was the game. Okay, so condiments. This is everything.
Everything. So we run the gamut completely, right?
I'm talking about sriracha on the bottle.
Sriracha?
Sriracha. It's that silent R that screws me up.
Is it a silent R?
I don't know. Like, who's tall?
Who's tall?
Chris Pronger, wasn't he tall?
Chris Pronger was tall, yeah.
Welcome to the PP1 Podcast.
Are you kidding me? That's what? Well done.
Yeah.
I don't remember saying half
this is why
silent R.
Yeah, I went back. That was a good episode, actually. It was a really good show. I quite enjoyed it. Quite enjoyed it indeed. Welcome, everyone, to the PP1 Podcast, the official Season 6 opener. Because we didn't count last show's Season 6 because I didn't have all this new stuff done. So this is the 6th season of this amazing show, the best Canucks podcast. We called it because nobody else is brave enough to say it. I'm saying it. Feel free to join in. Also, I should probably mention that we're on the Hockey Podcast Network, brought to you by DraftKings, promo code THPN, and Game Time. But I'm going to get to that in a little bit. Folks, Season 6, like I said, follow us, PP1 Podcast, on Twitter. Subscribe to our YouTube. Follow us on Facebook. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you, everybody. If you want to come talk Canucks hockey or just literally anything, we'll probably allow it. How you doing, Ted? Welcome back, man.
Yeah, man. Midweek. We're almost there. Hump day.
Yeah, this is I got tomorrow off going golfing. Very excited.
Ooh, where at?
Kelowna Springs.
Okay.
So buddy of the show, Luke, has never golfed there. Said, oh, well, this is where the commoners play sometimes.
What a beauty.
Because he plays tower all the time. So
the commoners.
Yeah.
He's a good golfer? I can only assume he's like athletic. He's probably good at everything.
The last round I played with him, he had a bad round and he shot like a 79 or an 80 or something. I'm like, get out of here. Like, it was a bad round. And then I started going over the scores. I'm like, yeah, I remember him doing that. And I'm like, oh, so your bad round and my bad round, very different things. Very different things. So,
I have a buddy like that too. You know, Darren.
Darren's good at golf.
Yeah, I mean, he's good at like almost all sports, and he just like kind of shows up like, oh, I haven't played ball in like 4 years. Like, hits a liner, makes a solid play in the outfield, throws a guy at a 2, like one of those dudes. He's just kind of good at everything. Super athletic.
Yeah, I do like Darren though.
Yeah, great guy. Multiple
reasons. Great at fantasy football, which that part sucks.
I mean, he was our first winner.
He was. That's true. Has he won twice?
I don't think so. He won when he was Sweet Baby Kale.
Oh, yeah. Man, that sucks. That really sucks. But I also like Darren because he is an early adopter of Mulligan Golf Company, my soon-to-be golf apparel line, which...
I'm still waiting for mine.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting on the hats. I was told a couple days. I'm being patient. I'm not going to keep bugging them because people hate that. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a Pedersen show. Don't you worry, Grant. Don't worry. The chamber's loaded, buddy. Don't worry. Believe you me. So starting a golf line. I'm sure a few of you have seen my posts around the networks, around the Instagrams and the Twitters and the Facebooks. So yeah, I'm gonna be an entrepreneur, which is super weird to say.
I always feel bad. I always I throw on we get casting and then we're just chatting along, and I always have it set to private chat, like as default. And so I don't ever know that like Grant's always in there talking, and then I like turn comments on, and he's already spoken like 4 times, and I haven't even responded to him once.
That's okay. Grant's a good golfer too. We had a good time, buddy. Also, I think was he curling tonight? Did I see? Is that right, Grant? Pretty sure. No, it's not Malign. Shut up. It's not Malign. It's MLGN, and you know it. I'm gonna make you pay more for stuff. I think. But I love you, man. It was a good time. Also, shout out to the free beers we got at our last round of golf. That was fun.
Oh,
yeah. Older gentleman hits into us, and this is in the summer when he came to visit you. And yeah, older gentleman kind of hits into us on like the second hole. Not even close. I mean, was in no danger of getting hit. Guy just absolutely apologizing profusely. Yes, I'm using big words. And just
big words being apologizing profusely.
Exactly. Anyway, so like we get to the next hole, we're like closing in on the green. Cart girl, after I'd already bought a beer, and cart girl shows up. She's like, "Hey," has 2 beers in her hand. We're like, "This is the best day ever." And she's like, "This is from the guy over there. He's really, really sorry." We're like, "We already closed that door. We were good. Nobody was in." Anyway, bought us a couple beers.
There you go.
Yeah. And last night was curling. I'm still on the shelf. Still no playing for me. LTIR. I think there's a few Canucks that look like they're on LTIR right now, but we'll get into that. So we did that. Your wife is at Evanescence tonight.
Yeah, that's right.
Super jealous. I'm not gonna lie. Apparently, it's a whole new band except for her. And then,
I mean, it makes sense.
The rest of her band apparently is essentially in a band with like Volbeat or something like that.
So, okay, so not as good, not as cool.
I guess not. I don't.
I mean, I'm sure they're awesome. Like if we're in that scene, they're like, this band is awesome. Evanescence is garbage, but we're not in that scene, and I can only remember what I remember from like the early 2000s.
And apparently, the Wake Me Up guy isn't in the band anymore.
Yeah, so will they just get? Does she scream it? Somebody else? I just I'll have to ask Christy. I don't know.
It has to be a guy. You can't get her to sing it. That's the best part. I mean, it's not, but that's
so like so that's actually the other thing. I got to be down there by like 10 o'clock, so we're gonna have to.
We'll make this a quick show, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll make it a quick show. Before we get into Canucks, because we can go fairly hard in this, I had one thing that I got to get off my chest for today. I texted you this already. I was a little bit upset today. I was on my way back from a job site. I need to grab a quick lunch. Went to Rotten Ronnie's, went to McDonald's, about to pull into the drive-thru. And wouldn't you know it, there's a person on a stretcher in the end of the drive-thru. I didn't see if it was a homeless person, which there's a lot of them in that area right now, or if it was someone that got hit by a bike. I have no idea. But there's an ambulance and there's a stretcher, and it's the end of the McDonald's drive-thru. So I'm not going to go there. I'm going to end up being super late for work. So I had to drive all the way closer to work, which also has a McDonald's somewhat near, and maintain that hunger pang for another like 10 or 15 minutes before I was able to eat the same meal I was about to purchase. So I do hope whoever was on that stretcher is okay, but it kind of bugged me. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little petty today. And Ted's just like, yeah, it's not an argument. What are we making?
Oh, man. You are something else, my friend.
It was Seether, Grant, not Saliva. Come on. You know that.
Was it Seether? Yeah.
It was Seether. He's saying that Amy Lee was in a relationship with the lead singer of Saliva. It was Seether. Great duet song that they had on the Punisher soundtrack, just saying. Let's get into the Canucks. Ted.
McDonald's. I'm just looking here. I haven't had McDonald's since July 2023.
Oh, man, you're missing out. Spicy habanero McChicken.
I saw that. I was pretty bummed out to see there was a McChicken, but I'm trying not to eat that shit.
Spicy.
You know why? Because it makes me feel like shit.
Oh, it makes me feel like a king every time I drink. Not a Burger King, but
that's a different thing.
It's a totally different thing. So the Canucks, have you seen all 3 games so far?
I didn't get to watch the whole Tampa game, and apparently I missed that first period, and apparently that was maybe the worst period. So yeah,
it wasn't pretty. This team, it's early.
Team like that.
Every podcast is going to talk about it. But let's be honest, this doesn't look like a great team yet. This doesn't look like the team that we were bragging was going to be a team we're going to get excited about. Doesn't look like there's any gelling quite yet, unless your name's Connor Garland. Pettersson looks... We're going to... I think most of this episode's going to be about Elias Pettersson. I'm not going to lie, because Quinn Hughes already looks pretty good. He doesn't look like an all-star yet, but he could literally turn that on tomorrow and we'd be good.
Yeah, well, when his game is, bagging assists like it's going out of style, you got to have your teammates convert to those to turn into assists. So
exactly. So I don't know. this whole Pettersson thing, it just bugs me. I know that he's not into his new contract yet. And apparently, like, what do you have? Like something in his knees or whatever? Not arthritic knees, but what did he have? Some kind of knee thing going on?
Yeah, like did he not like I can't remember, like a bit of a sprain or something like that. But
anyway, so they've had a full training camp. He's had a full off season, and he really still looks just like, I heard this on another podcast, but it is true.
Tendinitis. I was like, why I kept thinking bruisitis.
Yeah. There
Thanks,
we go.
Grant.
It's Darius Kasparaitis.
Yes. He had a case of the Darius Kasparaitis.
Man, I hate that.
Yeah.
So bad.
With a really bad Dmitry Yaskevich.
Oh, you put a little Hakan Lube on there, I think you're okay. Yes. Ding, 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 ding. We're going to play that all season. He doesn't look like the Elias Pettersson that we've all bragged about for years. Like, he's in the NHL. Everybody knows his game, but he doesn't look like he's creating his opportunities, like his opportunities, not like his opportunities, but like the style of play that makes him different. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, and I mean, the sky isn't falling, but I'm kind of pissy about it because we're 3 games in. Yeah, he wants to be paid like a superstar. It's not that he needs to act like one, Grant. It's that he knows his type of play and what he does best. I mean, the slap shot, his playmaking abilities. He just looks like a guy that is on this team right now. And for a guy that should be, I mean, arguably would be the guy that would be a captain on this team, and he looks like a passenger. And on this team, there can't, especially him, you can't be a passenger.
Yeah, we're just missing the extra that is Petey's game, right? Like, we want him to attack.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when Petey was rolling and we wanted to see him sit up on that, like on the dot, right, and just like feed one-timers. Yeah. It was like, they're taking the pass where they got a guy set up to block, right? And you just wanted him to so badly just like lean into one anyways.
Totally.
And just like punish somebody that was blocking him. And like, we need him, like, he needs to shoot more. We need to see him take more chances. We want to see him create a little bit. He just looks like he's like, not that he's lost his fastball, because he can still do the things that you want him to do, but he's like, it's almost like a pitcher that has a little bit of the yips, right?
But it's like the yips have been for like a half seasons, and this this season,
for all intents and purposes, like last, the Tampa game was not bad. Like he played well. He had some shots, right? I mean, he looked okay. It wasn't like his best game, but he's been, pretty bad the last little bit. So if anything, the last game was like a bit of a step up, right? So there has to be some consistency that he has to like sort of make his way back in, right? And I think like, when you're moving down the ice and you have a scoring chance, why are you looking at Derek Forbort? Like, if that's yours, bud, like that's the time that you should know that you should be taking the shot, right? Like, you're attacking from that point on. You're not worried about anything else. It's all you. I can see early on, he wants to get DeBrusk involved. He wants to show him that he cares about him being on his line, and he's actively thinking about utilizing him as a teammate, right? But DeBrusk isn't the kind of guy that needs that. He's going to find his goals. He's going to be in front of the net. He's going to have some tap-ins this year. He doesn't need him early on to sort of look for him to find those like, cute, unique plays, right? And I think that there's a little bit of that happening as well, which is sort of contributing to this. And there's new guys on every line, and this is like a bit of an issue on the whole, right? But in terms of the team, I'm not hitting the panic button. Petey's got to have time to work out his game still. But the classic example was them playing Tampa last night, and their stars. Grant said it right. Petey's got to act like a star if he wants to get paid like a star. You didn't say necessarily he has to act like one, but he has to start playing like one, and that was what Tampa did last night. Tampa's stars played in that game and really took it over, and ours did it, and not just Petey. Like, we didn't see enough from Miller, although that line was actually pretty good. It probably deserved a goal or not, but our stars are not playing consistency, some of all the parts, like stars, and they just got beat by a team that's just got, better wherewithal, right? It's going to take time for these guys to sort of gel and this line to figure it out. And I think that's also pretty evident on the decor too. Like, if you think about an offensive line, The ones that are real good are the ones that have been together a long time and know all the players. That the play only works if everybody's doing their job and not one person takes a penalty. And we've seen that. Like, I mean, how many times do you watch football games and you see a false start? Like, that ruins everything. It wrecks momentum. So if somebody's missing off that line and you plug a new one, you can't just plug a new guy in. You can sometimes, but on the whole,
a guy
it's
too
more
fast
difficult.
or a guy too slow going over the blue line.
Yeah,
And all.
and
It's
on-
like, oh, we had momentum and there's an offside.
Exactly. And on the whole, there's new guys plugged in all over the place on this roster right now. And it might take some time to figure it out. And they definitely don't have the almost like the chip on their shoulder swagger that they had last year. There's a little bit of big dick swinging going on, and that's got to get sorted out.
I think they should have. I mean, the way it all went down, I mean, goaltending is one of the issues with Shilov's and that long distance shot. I mean, he has a new MO, and that's not good. But it's almost like the only guy that I've...
Are you talking about the point, like Braden Point's? But I mean, that's Braden Point though. That's
no. The first two games when he got beat, when they started.
Because I thought he played pretty good in the Tampa game. Like, that could have been a lot worse.
No, the Tampa game, I didn't get to see the whole thing. It more so on the first two games, I guess. Like, the Calgary game itself was like, geez, I was, chest bumping after the first period and thinking like, and then it's going to keep going. And then, typical rule, don't go up 3-0. Or if you do, you better score a fourth goal. And it was 4-1. I'm thinking, okay, this is a normal hockey game again. And then they stopped playing and they just, prevent defense and they lost.
And I hate that. That burns them every time in every era that this team has been around.
It's never worked.
It's just like you never learn. And maybe that's not just a Canucks thing. Like, we watch the Canucks, so we see it. And maybe every team does that. But it seems like
it's in every team.
Over all of the eras of this team, that they never just continue to put their foot on the gas.
No, the really good teams do, and this isn't one of those teams yet. So I think it's frustrating because of where they finished last year, what they achieved last year, and that was a special year. We all saw it, and you can't catch lightning in a bottle and just hold it. Like, this is a new team. They don't have Big Z. They don't have Lindholm. They don't have who else am I missing? There's a few guys that aren't on this team, and they've added some new guys, which is fine. Like DeBrusk, I think these are good adds. But in the meantime, like, it'd almost be nice to be a little bit of a greedy player. Like, let Pettersson be on his own for a bit. Like, use your guys when you can. But I mean, if you have the shot, just take the shot.
Just take the shot.
Like Quinn Hughes, when he's dancing around, I mean, I probably more in the Philly game, I guess. There were still plays. I think they went up. Were they up 2-1 in that game? I think. And I'm watching it with my father-in-law. He's like, after I think the second period, he goes, "So, I think the Canucks have." I'm like, if they just kind of play the way they have been playing, and they don't sit back on it, I said they should finish this game, no problem.
He's just got to get back to buzzing a little bit, right? Like, it's almost like he
needs to go back on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then we need to yell.
Almost like we need to see some teeny weeny beanies, right? Like, I think he needs to get away from this like super tactile approach to how he's attacking the game and moving chess pieces around, but like, just get back to hustle a little bit and get back to an arrogant shot off the rush or a slapper that nobody's expecting. Like, just go after it a little bit. Try some stuff and just work a little bit. Like, nobody's saying that the guy's not out there trying, but we just want to see a little bit more, like, more effort put towards just the offensive side of the game and just attacking a little bit more. He still has tons of other things great in this team, and I still think he gets a little bit unfairly shit on, but the moxie is not there. It's missing.
You know what? I was just thinking of this term. So we talk about fashion from time to time. Yeah, a heel turn. Maybe that's what it is. Like I said, get back on Instagram.
I mean, a heel turn PD would be fine. Worked out for JT.
It worked out huge for JT, and now he's king of the city. You know what I almost need to see with him? Like, you talk about him being like plain Jane. He almost needs to go like, the term bespoke, or however you say it. Like, you need to be... He kind of needs to get back to his uniqueness. Someone mentioned like back to the alien that he became.
And he's a weird player to play against. Just weird things, right? Like,
And
That's what we need.
you couldn't adjust to him because he was always adjusting. So it's frustrating because we have put him on such a high pedestal because he created that. He created his own hype. And I mean, he's the guy we all want to get back. It's not quite Brock Besser because I think that's a different territory. But I mean, everybody knows what Elias Pettersson can be, and he can be an absolute game breaker. And the fact that if he's going, then obviously everybody else, I would assume, would be going at that point. It only makes sense. Like, I think he's almost like the catalyst to create all that change, because it's only a matter of time before Brock Besser and JT Miller are going. You'd assume Jake DeBrusk is going to start, potting them. I mean, we're 3 games in, but there's some interesting things to see already. There's some interesting things to talk about, and they haven't even won a game yet.
Well, honestly, we just need him to get back to that. Like, we don't want him. That's great. We want him to do that stuff, sure, but we just need him to get back to doing that.
Yeah, when you blow games, that hurts, because I wouldn't even blame it if we had Demko, because it doesn't work like that. I think they've still lost games as a team, and that's what it comes down to. Connor Garland, midseason already.
Something else, man.
Can you believe? Let's dial it back for 2 seconds. Can you believe that Connor Garland had requested a trade, and now he's
did he?
Dude is did he not? I thought he requested.
Is that confirmed? Because he came out and said, no, I didn't request a trade.
Oh, well,
it's still a great story because it was out there and smoking fire and all that stuff, right? I'm sure there was something.
And now we're on we have a Canucks team where, what? Where would this?
Yeah, would they even have the points they have right now if it wasn't for him?
No, dude's
he's everywhere. He is so much fun to watch. Last night, the net guard is great, but watching him down low work on Victor Hedman, and Hedman couldn't do anything with him. In fact, he dropped his stick and had to go back for it. It was hilarious. And then he created another scoring chance. He is just Paul Bissonnette said it best when maybe it wasn't Bissonnette, maybe it was Whitney. I think it was Whitney actually. When they got into the playoffs, they were he was and I give him credit for sure, Garland is going to be a problem. And he was for the majority of the playoffs. He was dangerous the whole time. And he just carried that forward into the season. But man, he's fun to watch.
It works. Dude is so invested. He is invested. The guy sold his house. He's doubled, tripled down. He's waiting for the stock to split. He is invested in the Vancouver Canucks. He's not even just a depth guy. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just the kind of kitschy hero, the Jeff Cowan, or who else was in that spot?
Cowan had an 8-game stint where he was the Barbarian.
Yeah, but it's not that. He's not a folk hero. No, he's a hero.
Well, he's turning into a folk hero. He keeps going like this. Yeah. If he's not already,
dude's gonna be banking bank.
He's their best player right now. Period. Well,
what does that say though?
Yeah, but he's playing like it, right? And you can tell it rubs off on Höglander too, because he's doing the exact same stuff. Similar player. Mm-hmm. You guarantee you that he's learned just an absolute ton from Garland on what to do down low with some of these guys. But that guy's a fire hydrant too, and he's fun to watch. So there's lots of good elements on this team. The losing streak, whatever. It's just a few games in. They only have, with all the negativity, they only just lost officially their first game versus Tampa. Regulation lost. Right? Outright loss.
Yeah, that was the first one.
So they're fine. At some point, this is going to be a thing where it's okay, it's actually going to get pretty hard to come back from this if we don't straighten our shit out. Right? They're not the fucking Oilers, right? But, at this point, it's so early. It's just so early. Go and get your W somewhere.
Florida. They got a game against Florida, which I think would really work in their favor to go and, everybody's just crapped on them.
And Barkov on that one.
Hey, man, it's that kind of game where it's take advantage of what you've got and go for it, and just shut us all up going into the weekend. Because they've built this. They've built their own criticism. They've built it up this big. And
sure.
it is deserved. But you know what? You can unbuild all that criticism. You can break it all down. And I'm not saying one good game, but yeah, one good game is going to shut us up for a little while. Come back, wear the skate jersey.
Yeah,
it's simple math, man.
You messed around in Calgary. It bit you in the ass.
Sure did.
Right? You had to go play a hardworking team in Philly.
Yep.
Right. You hope for a better result, but the team was working hard in that one. That was a game. Sometimes those happen, right? I mean, all the way to a shootout loss. Like, okay, coin flip really at that point, right? Like, that's
I mean, exactly.
Right.
Could have gone.
And then they lost versus a seasoned team with a bunch of really good players on it in Tampa Bay. Like, this team knows what they're doing. Like, it might not have its fastball like it did before, but the Tampa Bay Lightning are a good hockey team, right? And I think this was a thing with Vancouver last year, right? Like, some of these really seasoned veteran teams kind of took them to school a little bit, right? Like, they stole their lunch a little bit. And that's going to continue to happen until Vancouver figures out how to turn the corner on that and becomes one of those teams, right?
Yeah.
Because they did a really good job putting away bad teams. Like I said, we talked about what happened in Philly and Calgary in the early part of this year already.
Yeah.
But they got one more stiff test versus Florida before you start getting into the stuff where eventually they made all their money last year, right? But the blowing leads thing is the thing that sort of is pissing me off a little bit right now, and that's got to get straightened out.
Thankfully, these are East Coast teams aside from Calgary. So we're not going to be playing these guys for a little bit unless it's Stanley Cup time. So really, the Canucks haven't been tested against the West yet. So I think we're going to be okay on that. But again, it's early and there's really not much to show for it. Last year was, they dummied Edmonton twice, and it was the greatest time ever when that was going on. So we got to figure out what's going on, and I think we all know it's going to be okay, and it's okay until it's not.
Yeah, but exactly. It's too early to know that.
I think we're all expecting a better start, and it is what it is. So anyway, there's our little rant on it. I want to get into a couple things. One is this one. So we're into our 6th season. That was Drake, by the way. Yeah,
6 seasons.
We're into our 6th season. So do you have is there anything that any favorite moments so far? Not like we're going to do a retrospect, but a little bit.
6
was there
seasons
anything that stood out that? Yeah, that's crazy though, right?
Yours and Chris's track day. What the hell do we call that?
PP1
the
ball
combine. Your combine. Your combine event versus Chris was just absolute gold. Obviously, Rob Fay stopping by to do the commentary on that thing did a phenomenal job. Big fan of that. That was great. We've obviously had some really rad guests over the last years. I think one that comes to mind, an all-time favorite, would be Brad May was a great get for us. Just a lot of fun, really. And then those are some of the big memories that I had for sure.
The Brad May one was definitely.
He was so good.
I mean, that was peak COVID. That was we definitely hit it big that year.
He was so good too. He was like, "Oh, I thought this was back before we were doing video, right?" And he was like, "I mean, shit, I combed my hair."
Yeah,
got a big glass of wine,
and it was 11.
I combed my hair for you guys. What do you mean it's not video?
Yeah, just an absolute beauty. I think the Vern Fiddler, the trade story, that was good.
Vern was great. That was a good get. That was Brady's get. So yeah, I like that one. Obviously, Orland was fantastic too. Taking the time to, I'm probably good for a half an hour. I ended up spending 2 hours with us.
Dude, we gotta go.
Yeah, just phenomenal, right? And and then out of this came some pretty good spots for you and I on other shows, which was also a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's we've had a lot of. I think our Christmas shows have ended up being pretty good with the food show or the Christmas draft, or oh man, we've had some good ones. And all the people that have come on the show as well, the co-guests and the co-hosts, and I don't know. We got a good group of people that
we met a great friend out of this one in BMAC, right? I mean,
that's true.
Came in, stepped in, covered for me a bunch of times, had him on the show.
Yeah.
Now we play on his ball team. Great friend. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. There's there's so many good moments. I think the Biz Nasty one I thought was really cool. That was right when like Spit and Chicklets was still like it was big, but it wasn't global, I suppose.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. Again, thank you, COVID. So see, there's bright spots, and we got
some good stuff out of it for sure.
We got a big one coming hopefully next month, folks. It's gonna be a gooder. I don't even know what we're gonna talk about, but it's
that's
like we gotta have a list on that.
Oh, Aaron Volpatti was Aaron Pritchett, a bunch of Aaron Pritchett visits, Aaron Volpatti's.
When he shaved his head too. That was great.
Shaved his head. What about like learning about the double homicide? That's
yeah.
For anybody who doesn't know, double homicide is when you like absolutely nail a guy and he's out of the game. Then the guy comes to fight and then you knock his ass out too.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Thank you, Aaron. He's got a nice young family. Just made a post today. So that was pretty nice. He's got a good thing going there. He's a public speaker now, which is pretty cool. Just absolutely great. Let's get into some Canucks stuff. That was good reminiscing. Tyler Myers, big injury, comes back, liability. So that is very Canucks of Tyler Myers to do all that. Eric Brandstrom, I think I saw got called up today. Ratu is sent down.
Baines to the first line.
Is that true? Did I?
Well, I mean, he played with. Yeah, he played with Miller and Besser. So. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he looked pretty good. I don't know if he's going to get a run there, but yeah, he definitely wasn't a problem.
I mean, takes a goal. You get one goal, you're on there for a week. I mean, it's like winning a cup, right? Or a championship. You win one championship, you're good for 10 years. You score one goal, you're good for a week.
Yeah.
Same scale. What else do we have here? And Dakota Joshua looks like he's on the road trip. Did I see that as well?
Oh, good. Yeah. Awesome.
So, I mean, dude's like, cancer, no big deal.
Crazy.
Just, and our boy Witt's going through some stuff. We're going to have him back on the show.
Yeah, for sure.
He's going back in. He's pretty crazy time for him right now. It's going back into fighting this thing off. So hopefully he can power through this and we can chat about it and joke and laugh about a very serious thing. But shout out to our boy Witt, who's going through something equally as serious and not quite out of the woods yet. So yeah, cancer just picks and chooses and doesn't really care who you are.
Yeah, he's in a battle.
Kind of sucks. Yeah. So Witt, we love you, man. We're hoping we get to have you back on the show and we can be goofy boys again. What else do we have in here? There's so much, man. Like the Canucks. It's funny, 3 games in, I'm almost glad we didn't do a show at the end of last week because there was just that much more to talk about. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? What we could do, screw it, because I don't know how long I got with you tonight because you are the.
We got a little bit. She just texted me. Apparently, the opening act.
I'm going to do this properly. Oh well, whatever. I mean,
we got a bit of time.
The Canucks have only done Canucks have only done so much. So I'd like to get into this.
Top five.
Okay. I got it planned.
I love coming in cold for these.
Yeah. So I was gonna let you know, and I thought, no, I think you're gonna get this. You're gonna get this all on your own, and this is gonna be a fun one. So in honor of most of what our new intro looks like for season 6, we're gonna go back. We're going to go back to basics and we're going to make this fun. Top 5 this week, Ted. Top 5 meat items. Meat meals. Meats.
Okay.
I think you know where I'm going with this. So, and I'm going to, I don't have my number 1, but
like dishes, or
do you want to go
like
first?
Cuts of meat, or like I need like top 5. I go into the butcher and I am picking something out. Like
you're getting it. You're going to a restaurant or like what, food, like meat things.
Okay.
Yeah, not just like chicken. We're going to run out of stuff pretty quickly at that point. So, although that would be pretty cool. Shotgun beef. Oh, okay. Well, that covers a lot of things.
Well, shit.
It's like I guess I'll take pork. So,
okay. So
do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
No, I'll go first. So,
Okay.
Okay. I'm in the butcher shop. Top 5 for me. I think super underrated is going to be ground chorizo.
Ooh,
Ground chorizo, super versatile. You can mix it with beef. You can make a nice hamburger out of it. You can use it for stuffing in a bird, for example. You can wrap it in bacon. You can chop it up with hash browns, serve it for breakfast, huevos rancheros, right? There's lots of, I think, it's so good in tacos. Like if you get a chance to in your Kelowna, you got to go to YLW, you get the chorizo burrito, absolute fire. It's kind of smoky with the sauce on there. Shout out to Des for that one, man. He makes a good burrito. So I think underrated in my opinion, but ground chorizo. And I get mine from a Lickman's, just saying.
Jacob, you just walk up like, Jake, I need some ground chorizo, bro. That's fair. I like it. I'm going to come hot out of the gate. This one needs no intro. It's good with everything. My sister's made just sandwiches solely made of this, it's a little weird. It's a bit much, but bless her heart. It goes with absolutely everything. Vegetarians even have a problem. They came up with their own version of this thing. It was so good. The people that can't have, you can't have whatever you got vegan versions. I'm talking about bacon. Any kind of bacon. I don't even care. Doesn't matter if it's turkey bacon. I'll eat turkey bacon. It's delicious. Regular bacon. You got like back bacon's different, so I take that back. You get like the extra thick stuff. You get like you get the Costco stuff where it's just so thick. You're like, I'm gonna have to cook this extra long. If you can get it right, where you get one of those little trays where you put in the oven where they all stay long and bacony. Yeah, bacon, man.
I like bacon so much.
Literally, put bacon on your bacon.
I like bacon on my bacon.
Like the fact that it's a saying when people say, "Yeah, I put bacon on my bacon," it's because they do.
Maple bacon.
It's because you can.
So I cooked bacon just recently, like a little bit of a different way. So I took a pot and I put the bacon in the pot, and then I filled it with water, like about this much in the bottom of the pot. You have to try this. It was amazing. And then I cooked it down in the water until the water reduced with the grease, and then cooked it the rest of the way in there with whatever grease was left. And it makes the best bacon you'll eat. Obviously, you have to cook it to how you like it, whether it's a little bit chewy, you like it a little bit crunchy. But it's so good, perfectly cooked, evened all the way, no burn on it at all. Plus, it's cooking in its own dilute juices that are reduced down. Absolute fire.
So it's just like, it was like barbecuing a turkey where all the juices stay inside.
Yeah, kind of.
Same idea. I get it.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, so bacon, I went hard on this one. Exactly. They made a sandwich called the Baconator, folks.
They did. Yeah.
They're just like, screw it.
It's gross.
It's not that good. I did a chicken version of it, and it was overkill. It was a bit much, I'm not gonna lie. But bacon is it is the best. You can, Tim Hortons and McDonald's, they're like, we got our sausage and egg. Like, screw it. We're gonna add bacon because everybody still wants it. We can't have one or the other. Let's do both. It's bacon.
It's bacon.
It's bacon. And I'm not looking to win here. I'm just telling you that was my first pick. That's all. Just wanting everyone to know. Bacon is where I'm at. You're up.
Okay, well, I feel like you can only do things that you've actually tried before. So, like, I'm not going to go Kobe or Wagyu because that's just.
But I bet that's good.
I bet it's very, very good, right? And I'll even do one better than a ribeye, and I'm going to go tomahawk on this one.
Oh, I was wondering if you were going to do tomahawk. I was thinking about this today. Who's going to say tomahawk?
So tomahawk with all the fixings cooked in and around it. You get the big, you go to the nice place with a, a few other couples or a bunch of friends. It comes out on the big platter. It's got all the vegetables, and they're all sort of sitting there in the juices of the tomahawk. You take time to devour that thing. It's always good. It's always ridiculously expensive. But man, a tomahawk, yeah, that's
Modest Butcher.
That's
Modest
a
Butcher
great cut there. Yeah, and I've never done that, so that maybe we should do that our families sometime.
You know what?
Wife and I
went out for what? Yeah, wife and I went out for dinner. Modest Butcher was a couple anniversaries ago, and these two dudes show up in like soccer jerseys, and I think, or one guy was, and the other guy was like, I don't know, entertaining him or something, like a business deal or something, and they just ordered it like it was ordering wings. So like, yeah, we'll get that. They come out and show them. I'm like looking behind, I'm like, these guys. It's like $160 for the steak, bottle of wine. And I'm thinking, like, I'm gonna have a burger, thank you very much. But you go ahead and just like embarrass your riches on everybody. Great choice.
My go-to is to go to Superstore, and like the far end of the meat section in the pork area, there's always like a section this big that always has some like pre-wrapped sort of cheaper cuts that aren't like brand name stuff. And so I usually go and load up there. You can get like, 2 loins or whatever for like $30, and you're just walking home with like 12 pounds of meat. It's kind of the way to do it for me.
I like that. Grant,
but I've never seen a tomahawk in there.
Grant, we're going to block you, but that's fine. Steak overrated.
Steak is 100% overrated if you get it from a restaurant.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay, that's fair.
If you get steak from a butcher and you cook it at home and it's the way you like it, especially if you got a smoker or something like that, steak is rated exactly what it should be. So disagree on that.
So I think a buddy of mine was
context to that.
Yeah, a buddy of mine was a butcher for a time, and we didn't always buy from him because Bill. Did you ever meet Bill?
Oh yeah, Bill. Bill, he used to work at Johnny's Meats. Great guy.
That's yeah. Great. Okay, yeah, same guy.
I know Bill anyway, from like my days
when we didn't buy. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Campbell River and all that. Oh, geez. Anyway,
yeah, I actually used to buy. I lived right across the street from Johnny's, and I would buy my meat from Bill every day.
In Rutland.
Yeah. Until he moved to the other location. Yeah.
That's true. Jeez. Welcome to Kelowna. It's so fitting. Anyway, so when we were both living out in the Lower Mainland, and this is when meat was still somewhat affordable, he says, here's what you buy for steak. He goes, go get yourself, here's the best cut, the best value steak that you can buy. Go get a blade steak. Because what it is, where it's located in the cow, where it's located, it's not expensive, but it's the highest quality before you get into like the expensive cuts. And you used to be able to get like slabs of this stuff. We would buy like a 3-pack, same thing from Superstore. We'd go and buy like a 3-pack, and like this has been a minute, but for like $12. And we'd eat like kings because these things were massive and it cost us next to nothing. So we had steak like all the time. Steak and baked potato. You couldn't go wrong. Now, I haven't looked at a blade steak in a while, so I don't know where they price in the market.
They're pretty good, actually.
Yeah, blade steak. Like you have a big, massive one.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Like
they were about $12.50 cheaper than everything else. We just bought 4 of them for like mother-in-law's birthday.
Yeah,
and you're right, Grant.
Smart move. So
perfect.
Oh yeah. So every time I make steak, because I'm not the best guy on the grill, I'm so lame, but I will like Google, because I'm so stupid and I have a terrible memory, like the amount of minutes that I'm supposed to like have it on each side.
It's not.
And I've yet to be disappointed. And well, I go on minutes.
It's temperature.
10 minutes and temperature. Well, both. I got to follow both.
Yeah, I'm lucky.
You know this.
I've got the Traeger, so the thermometer sits in the meat, and I can just let it sit like about 20 degrees undercooked for like 2 hours and let that thing fill with smoke. And then when I'm ready, I can just turn the heat up. 10 minutes later, you got to cook steak, let it rest 5 minutes, cut that thing open and eat.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, so you got.
Well, I'm hungry.
So I went. I know this is. I do apologize. So you got tomahawk, and you've got ground chorizo. I've got bacon. I'm going to keep it simple. I know my audience. Chicken wings.
Okay, that's.
And I don't care if you're talking. I don't care if you're talking about like wing night chicken wings, where you buy like 40 of them, and you're going to feel lousy the next day. They're so versatile. It's really about the versatility of it. Or if you're going to like B&A and you're getting like their Korean chicken wings that are like an actual chicken wing, and you choose to go bowling also, and you made a huge terrible decision because you can't bowl with the greasy balls and have Korean barbecue chicken wings because they don't mix. So I'm gonna go with chicken wings because I mean they have a special place in my heart, and I think anybody that likes meat likes chicken wings. It's its own category in itself. Like it's wing night. They got their own day. You don't have steak day. People they'll have specials. They have specials for steak. They don't have wing night. They're not that. Just saying.
Was that?
I don't even want to continue. I'm just happy with wings. Chicken wings.
That's a good one. That's pretty tough to pass up.
It's too good. And wings in your Traeger, amazing.
Were you here? You came over for wings, right?
I was there. It was great. We had gluten-free mac and cheese and wings, and thank you for inviting us that day.
Yeah, that was good. We'll have to do another one. Okay, I'm going to go off the board a little bit with this next pick. I'm going to go into.
Don't say tartar, please.
No, tartar, no thanks. But I am going to go to the realm of cured meats, and I'm going to go with I'm going to go with
a Costanza moment.
No, I'm going to go with an aged prosciutto.
Ooh,
yeah, aged prosciutto. Especially if you're going to put it on a pizza with some arugula or something like that, and then you got some olive oil. Absolutely. That's the first thing I go to. I see a charcuterie board, and if there's a prosciutto on there, it's in my yap. That's the good stuff.
So I go to a lot of business these like business events through work for the Builders Association. So once a month, a business hosts like this get together. It's like a mingler kind of thing. And usually there's like, the bites or appies or whatever. And let me tell you folks, if there's like a meat and cheese platter, like the fancy kind, not the kind you'd buy from a store, you better believe I am eating as much prosciutto as humanly possible without getting kicked out of that place. Because it's amazing. You just eat it. You just keep eating it, and you look around and no one's coming, so you just keep eating more.
It's got to be nicely aged though, right? And like the prosciutto, so like you can do a lot of things. Like I knew this girl at work. Her name was Becky. She's an amazing Italian cook, and one of the things that she used to make was candied prosciutto.
Ooh.
I didn't even know it was a thing. Obviously, it's done in like a syrup, and then you cook and dry that thing until it just crunches candy in your mouth. But candied prosciutto, if you can get your hands on some, give it a try. I would assume it has to be quite aged, but man, that stuff is like straight up delicious. So yeah, prosciutto.
Wow. Jeez. Prosciutto. I'm doing this wrong. How do you do?
Well, I mean, you got
I got that.
You got the Mario.
My Wi-Fi. I do. My Wi-Fi is sucking, and I'm on like a good internet downstairs, so I apologize to anybody. I got a good one. Now, I didn't like this as a kid. Am I coming out okay here?
Yeah.
Pretty good? Yeah. Okay. I didn't like this as a kid, and not because I didn't like it. I think just because I didn't bother to try this out, and we had it surrounded by us growing up. I'm talking about smoked salmon, like authentic smoked salmon. Good. So like Grandpa used to have. Grandpa had his little smoker out in the carport, right in kind of in the carport there in his little garage thing. And this thing was going like all the time in the summer. They used to go to like Port Hardy, and I went a few times as well. And man, once you get involved with smoked salmon, like it's a game changer because it's not like I love salmon. I could eat that stuff 4 days. I would eat it till I get sick, and I don't think I'd get sick because it's not the kind of fish that just like you would get sick of. Like if money was not an option, or no, yeah, that's right. I said that right. You would just eat it. You would just eat it until you just like, oh, I got to go to work.
Just like Jurassic
You've been
Park,
eating it all night.
spare
It's
no
so good.
expense.
Exactly. Spare no expense. That's right. But I mean, it's so good. Like when you have it in sushi, or you have it just on its own, or you have it, folks, Christmas morning eggs Benny. I'm telling you, smoked salmon.
Smoked salmon and capers.
Dude. I mean, yeah. The more the merrier. Absolutely. Smoked salmon. You cannot, and if you can get, so there's a few candied smoked salmons that I've had also. We might need to stop the show because I'm getting a little worked up here.
Well, we need to do a candied smoked salmon and candied prosciutto.
Yeah, let's just do it. Glad salmon got the mention. Like, come on. That's we live in British Columbia. Let's not be silly here. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah, 100%.
So I got bacon, smoked salmon wings. You got prosciutto, aged prosciutto, blade steak, and Gran Chorizo. So you're up.
Yeah. Okay. So gonna go to the world of smoking once more. And there's so many popular ones, right? I mean, ribs is a great one. I'm actually not a big ribs guy, believe it or not, but briskets are really popular. I mean, you got the smoked chicken, also a big one. Smoked sausage, a lot of fun. But I'm gonna go with a smoked pork loin. Super simple. You can get your hands on it really easy.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah, get your hands on it really easy. I like to do like a teriyaki one, maybe like marinade for a day. You can do a jerk style and then smoke that thing for 2-3 hours. Cut it up into little like medallions. Serve that thing off.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. And it's just so cheap by comparison. If you can get your hands on it, keeps really well, freeze it up. Almost never leftovers. But if you can get your hands on some pork loin leftovers is really good for lunch the next day, just saying.
I'm not gonna lie, when this is done, I mean, it's gonna be a little late, but that's okay because it'll be just perfect. We got chicken pot pie from Costco when I'm done the show. So like it's a win. It's an absolute win. So get to do this with you, get to do this with a great buddy of mine, and then I get to go just devour a chicken pot pie. I'm jacked. I could just revel in this moment right now. So I've got a good one. This was gonna rival my first.
This is your fourth one,
but the only reason I didn't take it as my fourth pick is just because I needed to make sure where this was going to get placed. This doesn't mean that it's the number one pick. Doesn't mean bacon was my number one pick, but it was my number one pick. This one also is versatile. It's a big part of the hunting community. Everybody knows when you get yourself a deer or a bear, or I don't know what kangaroos taste like, but maybe that's good. I have no idea. You get these, you can get them wherever. And the only bad one I've ever had, I think, was a rutted deer. And I didn't know what that was. And then you have one piece of this and you're like, I know why I don't like this now. I'm talking about
what's a rutted deer?
Sorry, say that again.
What's a rutted deer?
I think it's like when they're, I'm not a hunting guy, but I think it's like when they're, Grant, you should know this. Rutted deer. Having long deer. No, that doesn't sound right. Rutted deer.
Okay, tell your story.
Deer rutted? How does it impact your process? Anyway, I'm talking about pepperoni. Pepperoni, I mean, we just got some from Costco. I don't care what the size is. I don't care if they're the little bite ones. I don't care if they're this long. I don't care if you get them from a butcher and they go on for 6 miles long. Pepperoni is elite because it goes on pizza. You can have it as a stick. Most people like it that way. You can just pop them like chips if you're getting the little ones. If you walk by the fridge, I'd challenge you to not grab a little stick of pepperoni every single time you walk by. You can't do it. I go to my parents' place. There's always pepperoni in the fridge. Every single time I walk by, come in from the pool during the summertime, pepperoni every single time. Now, it's an expensive thing to continue to buy because it's not cheap, but it's pepperoni. You can get it in different flavors if you choose. It does taste the best when you're getting it from a game type animal, because there's just like an insane amount of flavor in those. I'm not going sausage because this is a different type. This is pepperoni. It's a dried meat. But oh baby, I could eat pepperoni. Now you get a little gassy, you get a little, garlicky because you just got that kind of flavor to it. But man, I love me some pepperoni. The OG pizza, also pepperoni pizza. But man, I love pepperoni. It's so good. Pepperoni makes me smile like bacon does. It's just like it's there for you. And you always want to buy it. Like if you could go and just buy pepperoni, you would.
You can just go buy pepperoni.
But it costs money, Ted. It costs money. Well, you go to IGA, they've right at the till there, and they're like, "You're gonna want to buy some of this." And
yeah, I mean, I do that too. I do it when I go to Johnny's all the time for sure, because they always have like they get deer and elk and moose, and I like like bear pepperoni is always really good because you never know what to do with your bear meat. It always gets turned into pepperoni.
Elk pepperoni is, dude, so good.
Maybe an unpopular opinion then on this show, but I am actually more of a beef jerky guy, or a jerky guy in general, than I am a pepperoni guy. I'd rather have jerky over pepperoni any day.
Okay. That's I'm not even mad.
It's fine.
I think if you had to like change me, I wouldn't be upset. Beef jerky works too. You're not going to get a fight out of me because I'd eat that for days too. And it gets stuck in your teeth though. That's the one downside to beef jerky.
Oh, it looks like we have an explanation here for a rutted deer, and I don't know if I like it.
There's a hormonal problem where a white-tailed buck's behavior is emboldened by drive to find mates. So horny deer, basically.
So horny deer taste different. Maybe that's why they make pepperoni out of it. There you go.
Once you have it, it's gross. Anyway.
Okay, so
don't shoot a horny deer.
I'm going to go with a pick that I thought I would never have gone with. If you would have asked me 3 years ago about turkey dinner, I would have told you that it is one of the most overrated dishes of all time. It's dry. It never tastes good reheated. It's good on sandwiches after the fact. You put in so much effort to cooking this thing, and it's just never as good as a chicken. A chicken is always better, right? So I went to my brother-in-law's house a couple Thanksgiving ago, and he did the smoked turkey on the Traeger, and he smoked that thing for like 6-8 hours or something like that. So I was going to try it this past Thanksgiving, not this one that we just had. Sorry, the one before that. I was going to do my own, so I did it in a rind for like almost 2 days, for like in a salt brine. Got this thing on the grill, cooked it for 12 hours on the smoker, had that thing set all day, had a smoke ring about this deep, absolutely delicious. Stuffed it with like a little bit of butter and stuff underneath the skin and got it in there. Obviously stuffed it with actual stuffing on the inside. Cut this thing up. And you know how after the fact, when you're sitting there and you're picking at the turkey and it's been an hour now, you guys are at the table and you go to eat the turkey off. The white meat especially is always super dry. It wasn't. It was still super juicy. And obviously that brine did the job. Still tasted good. The smoke was in there. Absolutely delicious. Tasted better on sandwiches the next day. And then we took the carcass and then made broth out of it. And then that broth was good for just about everything past that fact. So smoked turkey is definitely going on my list. Like I said, thought it was one of the most overrated dishes you could have possibly got 3 years ago. But I think I just wasn't cooking it right. Oh, and Grant,
quick question.
Chicken is always better. Just did a jerk chicken and a teriyaki chicken on the grill for Thanksgiving this year. Also very good. So don't hate chicken. Just really like that turkey.
Just to please some of our viewers and listeners, did you have mashed potatoes?
No, God, no. I'm a grown-ass man. I don't have to eat mashed potatoes anymore.
Bless your heart.
Yeah, if there's mashed potatoes at the table, best believe there's a little bowl of rice for me.
Interesting. Okay, so I got last pick here. I had everything planned until number 5.
You're
And
just
now I'm just
number
like
5 on the go. Vindaloo, poor cocktish Vanahaxen.
Okay, I remember now. Now this isn't for everybody because I don't know, and everyone different depending on how it's made, texture. Growing up in a European grandmother, and they just feed you till like, oh, like, no, grandma, it's too much, I'm full, no, Ryan, just have one more. No, grandma, like, I can't walk because I'm full. I'm not talking about the cream corn that she would give me. I'm talking about, and I mean, do I side with one of the? No, I'm going to go with the OG because this is what I was raised on. When you tenderize these things, they're the size of an island. They fill up your entire plate. They probably fill up the room if you did it right. I'm talking about pork cutlets, and obviously gravy, or some people did like HP or A1 sauce on them growing up. These things, like, I'm looking at my podcast table right now, and it's probably
like a schnitzel.
Yeah, like a schnitzel. It's like, I don't know, what do we got? 2.5 feet by 3 feet or so. I'm sure if my grandma wanted to, she could have tenderized that cutlet schnitzel down to the size of this. It'd be really thin, get it breaded. She always had like a good little, a great breading on it, put in the frying pan. These things straight up killed. They were so good. And the thinner she got them, and then the breading kind of was almost thicker than the meat, but like, on both sides. So it's like thin on both sides, but made up the whole amount. Just so good. You could put in dipping sauce if you were as a kid. Gravy on it is amazing. Most people would eat it with like some type of a gravy. It does go good as, again, more of that European dish. I think they have them at like the Gasthaus out in Peachland.
Oh, it's the Gasthaus.
Just the Gasthaus, yes. So good. Brings back great memories. I don't think most people growing up, if you have European relatives or grandmas and grandpas, they made it for you, and you could not get out of that house without having at least like 2 or 3 of them. And by then it was over. You couldn't move. It was done skis. So I'm going to go with the pork or chicken. I'm going to intertwine them because I think both of them they hit the same spot. It's kind of one of those weird foods that kind of almost do the same thing. So I'm going to do with the schnitzel. Yeah, during Harrison Hot Springs. Actually, I have heard about that place. They also have a really good sushi place there too. But yeah, I'm going to go with the schnitzel because it's just, I don't know. My mom made them pretty good, but grandma made them the best.
Did your mom used to do like the pork, like maybe it was my mom. My mom did the pork steaks and like the mushroom soup sauce, like the mushroom soup.
Dude, yeah, that's carried over to my wife. She does the same thing. We get the big Costco pork ones, cut them in half, so you have like double the meals. Absolutely.
There you go. Got a bonus one,
and you get some rice in it. I not yet, but if you got one, please fire away. I'm sure I can think of one.
Bonus one to be carnitas. Love me some carnitas.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, brats, I guess, would be my bonus one.
Brats are good, yeah.
Again, back to the Mississippi sauce.
Mississippi sauce is delicious.
Damn, that stuff's expensive, though. It's really not fair. It really isn't. We had another segment, but we're going to have to carry that over to next week. So that was a good top 5. Do you agree?
Yeah, that was a really good top 5.
That one just kind of came to me today, so I'm very happy about that. Thank you for everybody joining in for our first official episode of season. That button's hanging around for the season, I think. We have Canucks hockey to look forward to. Is it Thursday night or Friday night they play Florida?
Thursday.
Okay. So they got the Florida Panthers. Maybe this is the first win where they actually, get off the schneid and actually do something that we're all impressed. Maybe Petey just goes off and has a hat trick and we're like, all right, what did we know? He was just warming up.
I hope that happens. That'd be great. Lankin tomorrow night, maybe? Probably Lankin. Yeah.
I think that could happen. I mean, we're complaining right now because the Canucks are playing not so great. Let's not lose fact. The Canucks are playing right now. It's hockey season again. It's also football season, but that's a different show. I'm hungry. Grant, I'm so hungry too. And I do apologize because this is probably not the show we should be having. This segment should be having at like 9:30 at night because it's counterproductive. But folks, Grant, thanks for showing up. Obviously, always love having you over here. It's a great time. Make sure if you guys want to get involved on the chat as well, make sure you follow our Facebook and YouTube. Follow the Hockey Podcast Network, DraftKings promo code THPN, and Game Time. Get your tickets going. We're in season 6 of the PP1 Podcast. I cannot believe we made it this far. I guess persistence, perseverance, truculence got us this far. I mean, you have your own podcasting room, as do I now. This is something. We're moving on up. We really, really are. Folks, thank you so much for coming by. Go Canucks, go. Can't wait. It's going to be a fun season. Also, suck at Oilers. You suck. On behalf of Ted, I am Ryan. This is PP1 Podcast. Peace.